All right, let's dive in. Today we're talking about something incredibly practical. It's a guide to ending suffering that's been around for over 2,500 years. It's called the middle path. And really, it all starts with a question that every single one of us asks at some point.
And that question is, why do we suffer? It hits home for all of us, right? I mean, think about our world today. It's so fast-paced. We're all chasing happiness, trying to find some peace. But what do we usually end up with? Stress, feeling like something's missing, just pain. This is the exact problem the Buddha was determined to figure out.
So before he found the answer, the Buddha actually went to the extremes. He tried two very different lifestyles. On one hand, you have the path of total indulgence, just chasing every pleasure you can think of. And on the complete opposite end of the spectrum, you've got this life of extreme self-denial, really harsh aesthetic practices. He spent years trying both, and guess what? He realized that neither one of them was the answer. Neither led to any real, lasting freedom.
And this is where it gets really interesting. He had this major breakthrough. By rejecting both of those extremes, he found something else, a middle path. In the original Pali, it's called Majjhima Patipada. Now, don't think of this as some lukewarm compromise. It's not that at all. It's a very specific, very balanced way that completely avoids the traps of being too indulgent or too hard on yourself.
Okay, so what is this middle path, really? What does it look like in real life? Well, it's actually a super clear, actionable system. We call it the Noble Eightfold Path. Let's get into it.
And just to be super clear here, the middle path is the Noble Eightfold Path. They're the same thing. Think of it as a guide with 8 parts that are all connected, and they're all designed to lead you to one ultimate goal, the end of suffering and reaching that state we call nirvana.
So here they are, the 8 factors. You'll notice they all start with the word right. Now, right here doesn't mean right versus wrong. It's more like skillful or wise or the most effective way. The whole idea is to get every part of your life, what you think, what you say, what you do, all lined up and pointing towards that goal of ending suffering.
Now, to make this whole thing easier to grasp, these 8 factors are usually bundled into 3 main categories. Think of them as 3 types of training. The first is wisdom, or panya. That's kind of like the foundation, how we think. Then there's morality, or sila, which is all about our actions and ethics in day-to-day life. And finally, we have concentration, or samadhi, which is the mental workout part, the discipline.
All right, let's kick things off with that first group, wisdom. I love thinking of this as the GPS for the whole journey. I mean, it makes sense, right? If you don't know where you're going or why you're going there, none of the other steps are going to feel right.
And so, we start with what is probably the most important piece of the whole puzzle. Right view, or samadhi. Seriously, this isn't just step 1 in a list. It's often called the leader of the entire path for a reason.
So what does right view even mean? It's simply about seeing reality clearly, just as it is. More specifically, it means really, truly understanding the 4 noble truths. 1, there is suffering. 2, there's a cause for it. 3, it can end. And 4, there's a path to end it. And hey, that path is the Eightfold Path we're talking about right now. It all loops back. See? That's exactly why it's the leader. Everything else, all the other 7 steps, flows directly from this starting point, from this clear vision. Once you get your view right, your intentions, your words, your actions, they all just naturally start to fall into place in a much more helpful, skillful way.
And that leads us perfectly into the second part of the wisdom group, right intention, or samma sankappa. It makes perfect sense, right? Once you see things clearly, the why behind what you do starts to change. Your intentions shift. You start to steer your mind away from things like greed or anger, and instead you actively work on developing intentions based on kindness, compassion, and the ability to let go.
Okay, so we have our compass set with wisdom. Now let's talk about the second group, morality, or sila. This is where the rubber meets the road. It's how we take that inner understanding and actually apply it to how we live and interact with others.
And this part is so practical. It's broken down into 3 things. First, right speech. Pretty straightforward, right? Speaking truthfully, kindly, not causing trouble with your words. Second is right action. Basically, not harming others with your physical actions. And third, right livelihood. Making a living in a way that's honest and doesn't hurt anyone. These 3 are really the bedrock of ethical living. I really like this idea of reframing right speech as just positive talk. Because it's not just about not lying or not being mean, it's about being actively constructive with your words. And this is huge. It applies not just to how we talk to other people, but maybe even more importantly, how we talk to ourselves. That voice in your head, yeah, that matters a lot.
All right, that brings us to the third and final training group, concentration, or samadhi. If morality is about our actions in the world, this is all about our inner world. Think of it like a gym for your mind, where we train it to become focused, calm, and incredibly powerful.
So this mental workout has 3 key exercises. First, there's right effort. This is the conscious work of encouraging good thoughts and letting go of the unhelpful ones. Then there's right mindfulness. You've probably heard of this one. It's all about being aware and present in the moment. And finally, right concentration, which is about taking that awareness and deepening it through meditation, really learning to focus the mind to achieve a state of deep calm and insight.
Okay, so we've got all 8 pieces on the table now. The wisdom, the morality, the concentration. But the big question is, how do they all fit together? This is where you see just how brilliant the whole system really is.
The most important thing to get is that this is not a to-do list where you check off number 1, then move to number 2, and so on. Not at all. It's an integrated system where everything supports everything else. Think about it. When you practice mindfulness, you naturally become more careful with your speech, right? And when you act ethically, it's way easier to calm your mind for meditation. Every single part strengthens all the others.
A really beautiful way to visualize this is like the petals of a lotus. Each petal is its own thing, but they all grow from the same core, and they all work together to create this single, beautiful flower. In the same way, all 8 of these factors, when you practice them together, lead to this blossoming of wisdom, and ultimately, to freedom from suffering.
So where does that leave us? Look, this isn't just some dusty, ancient philosophy. It's a genuine, practical roadmap for living a better, more meaningful life. And I think the real question for all of us, living in our crazy, modern world of extremes, is this. How can we start to bring a little bit of that balance, a little bit of this middle path into our own lives, maybe just one small step at a time?